Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, just filed an appeal for Diddy's immediate release, and court documents show that Diddy is struggling in prison. From panic attacks to threats on his life, and even the possibility of Diddy taking his own life, it looks like Diddy is finally starting to feel the pressure. In this video, we're going to look at everything Diddy's lawyer revealed in the court filings, including what Diddy had to say about 50 Cent and his pardon.
A person close to him apparently said, quote, "Spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him." If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but they refused. This same friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, "He eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it." This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question.
Diddy is struggling in prison, and we're going to get into exactly why he has given up in a second. But let's first look at some of the things Diddy had to face in the last few months. During Diddy's last appeal hearings, Diddy's lawyers confirmed that Diddy had been attacked and almost killed not once but twice. Gene Deal confirmed this with his sources from inside Fort Dix, too. Diddy believes that he is being targeted and someone is paying inmates to come after him.
So Diddy is claiming that his throat was nearly in prison. According to Diddy, he was asleep in his cell and he woke up to a man standing over him with a shank at his throat. It's important to understand that this incident was not an attempted murder. If this person wanted to kill Diddy, he never even would have seen it coming until he was bleeding out of his throat. This was a warning, and this was a mark of things to come for Diddy. First off, Diddy is down on a bad charge, and it doesn't matter that it's not like a child charge, it's still a charge, and people in prison, they don't like that. Even though it's a prostitution charge and the that he had transported across state lines were men, it's still a sex beef. That honestly is gonna seem even weirder to dudes in there. Also have to keep in mind that Diddy has a lot of money, and they're gonna want that money, and they're gonna get that money out of him, whether he wants them to or not. Also have to keep in mind that Diddy is famous, so if you were the dude who beat up, stabbed, or clapped Diddy's cheeks, that gives you a certain amount of clout in prison.
The assault won't end here. Diddy didn't survive 2 attempts on his life because he's lucky. He survived because they weren't trying to kill him. These attacks were meant to send a message. We can reach you anywhere and anytime we want. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Geragos, also confirmed this in a recent interview and said that some inmates have even threatened to sexually assault Diddy. It's possible that this is just some messed up version of prison justice for everything that Diddy was doing to women. But the timing is suspicious.
I just want to lay this out right now. He is a target because they talked about this in court. They said somebody tried to shank him already, and that he is a big target. Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
Now, the reason Diddy's so depressed has a lot to do with 50 Cent. After Diddy's sentencing back in October, there were rumors that he would be getting out much sooner thanks to a pardon from President Trump. Diddy's lawyers confirmed that President Trump had talked directly with Diddy, and they were expecting a pardon as early as next month, but all of that changed after 50 Cent's Netflix documentary dropped. 50 knew that a pardon was in the works, and that's when he released the most damning piece of evidence. This documentary tied together all of Diddy's crimes and exposed all of his lies.
In coverage, Sean Diddy Combs seeking an immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those prostitution-related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment.
At the same time, 50 called President Trump to stop Diddy's pardon. 50 tweeted several times about this and posted on his Instagram saying, "Donald doesn't take well to disrespect and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him." While working tirelessly to make America great again, there is no room for distraction. He would consider pardoning anyone who was being mistreated, not Diddy. Diddy said some really bad things about Trump. It's not okay. I'm going to reach out so he knows how I feel about this guy. I will make sure Trump is aware.
50 Cent don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. He literally is saying he's going to reach out to Trump to remind Trump of the things that P. Diddy has said about him for the sole express purposes of making sure that Trump doesn't pardon Diddy in the event that Diddy gets convicted of trafficking and racketeering. That's what 50 Cent has sworn to do. And I got to admit to you, that's wild. Damn, you know you got an enemy there when the man want to go out of his way to contact the president, and clearly he has some kind of inroads where he can get to President Trump so President Trump can hear him. He's basically saying, yo, brother need to go down. Brother need to go down and stay down. That's what he's saying. So if Diddy didn't have enough problems, having 50 Cent on your ass is a problem. That's a problem. That's the only thing I can peel from it at this moment in time. I would love for 50 Cent to tell us what exactly is his disgust with Diddy.
Days after 50 Cent's announcement, the White House confirmed that the president had declined Diddy's request for a pardon, effectively shutting down Diddy's last path to release. It also ruined Diddy's standing within the prison. TMZ reported that Diddy was bragging to inmates about a pardon and how he would take care of all of them once he's outside. Diddy was doing this because, frankly, he needs protection and wanted to bribe them into taking his side.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Well, not anymore. After more than a year in prison, Diddy has asked the White House for a pardon, and Donald Trump is shutting him down.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Yeah, that's according to the president himself, who spoke to the New York Times on Wednesday, explaining the request came in a letter. Details of the alleged letter haven't been divulged. But Trump did say he's not planning to commute the mogul's sentence. He didn't say why, but it's a move the president has been thinking about for months. Here's what he told reporters during Diddy's marathon trial in May.
He used to really like me a lot. I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
News of the rejected pardon coming about a month after Diddy's legal team filed to appeal his sentence and conviction.
Now, Diddy is getting ready to spend millions, filming and distributing his own documentary to shift the narrative in his favor and save his career. Diddy's sons Justin and Christian Combs announced last month that they were working on a docu-series with Zeus Network. The Untitled project focuses on their personal experiences amid their father's federal trial, conviction, and family fallout, including reactions to media headlines and raids on his properties. A teaser trailer shows the brothers watching trial footage and ends with Justin receiving a prison call from Diddy at FCI Fort Dix.
Sean Diddy Combs' sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docuseries about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old.
It's interesting that Diddy's sons decided to include calls from Diddy in their documentary when these calls were part of the reason his appeal was denied in the first place.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs facing more time behind bars. His release date pushed back to June of 2028 instead of May of that same year. The news coming after reports of Combs drinking in prison, something he denies, after he was accepted into a rehab program in prison that could have reduced his sentence by up to a year. He's also been accused of making a prohibited three-way phone call from prison.
One of these calls was actually played by the prosecution during the appeal hearing to prove to the judge that Diddy hadn't changed. Before we play that call, you need to understand that Diddy knows his calls are being recorded, so he has to talk in code. This call was between him and his son, Christian.
Yo, listen, do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Pop. He ghosting.
Yeah, watch.
What is this motherfucker doing? These things sweet.
You heard him?
Because I'm in here.
Jay-Z reach out.
You about to get out on bail. No. Hey, yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie. Alright, Pop. It's crazy right now.
You heard him? That's a threat. Keep going. It's going to say some more.
That's it. That was the whole thing.
Oh, it's another part two to
more
it.
Part? Yeah, okay.
The part two to that is, right? Now, you caught that, right? Reach out to the producer. He's talking about
he's talking about recycling pizza boxes.
No, but he said reach out.
There's a code
he's talking about reach out to the producer that and let him know it's going to be a new term to that Netflix flick. You know, he's talking about something he got on audio, on the video, right? Yeah. But he from there he went to like, let them laugh now. We're gonna laugh the loudest later. So I believe we're gonna wake up once he figures out whatever he figures out and accept what he's gonna accept. I think he's holding some things to try to get people to do certain things, whatever that may be. I can't see it being financed just yet, but me and you both know at least 60% of whatever he has going on needs to cut back, should have been cut back to ready and prepare itself for lawsuits and just legal fees and floating.
Diddy wasn't worried at all about being caught. He was so confident that he was going to get out. The prison warden also caught Diddy drinking toilet hooch inside his cell, allegedly celebrating his pardon in advance. This was before 50 Cent's documentary came out and ruined any chance of Diddy's appeals going through. Drinking is a big no-no in prison, and the fact that Diddy was willing to risk ruining his appeal shows you just how sure he was in an upcoming pardon.
So, like I said, these people that usually do make it are very good at it, and they actually charge to make it. So in prison, in federal prison, everything's a business. So he probably paid somebody to actually hold that in their cell and make it for his birthday. I guess it was his birthday that came up, and they will make this alcohol beverage for you. But what's confusing to me is that when you're in the feds, usually there's a crooked CO that'll just bring you in an actual bottle of vodka. So I don't know why they even made it.
Serious?
Yes.
Yeah. Dang. Okay.
Yes.
So the whole thing you just said about them selling the toilet wine, I feel like Diddy wouldn't have to buy it. There'd be a lot of people who'd want to be friends with Diddy, and they'd be handing it over. Really?
No, they know how much money he has. Everybody's so happy that he's in the jail right now because they see currency. So all they're doing right now is going up to his cell and trying to sell him everything that they have possible. Actually, trying to get on salary with him to make his bed, clean his cell, go extra shopping for him, extra phone calls, cell phones, anything they can. They're all going to his cell trying to sell something to him because they know he has money. They do it to everybody with money in those jails.
Wow, that's something. Let me quickly read the statement that Diddy's team put out when TMZ broke this news, because they really stopped short of denying it. But this is what they said. Mr. Combs is in his first week at FCI Fort Dix and is focused on adjusting, working on himself, and doing better each day. As with any high-profile individual in a new environment, there will be many rumors and exaggerated stories throughout his time there, most of them untrue. We ask that people give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth with grace and purpose.
Videos of Diddy from inside prison have also leaked, and they show Diddy hanging around inmates and working in the library. Before this, Diddy was working in the laundry, but changed jobs after he reported to the warden that he felt unsafe in the laundry room. There are credible threats on Diddy's life, and several of his co-conspirators might be looking to silence him. So far, Diddy has stayed silent. But who knows how long it takes from prison to break him?
We got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library itself.
But you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
This was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people, get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first
This
assignment.
got to be a promotion.
Yeah.
It feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does
I mean,
believe
he is a
it does
media
sound like
mogul.
he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.
50 Cent's documentary did more than just destroy Diddy's chances of a pardon. It ruined the relationship that Diddy had with his lawyers and introduced additional charges into the mix. First off, let's look at how his lawyers reacted to the docuseries. Now, in case you haven't seen the documentary yet, there are several videos of Diddy talking to his lawyers where his lawyers didn't know they were being recorded. Yes, you heard that right. Diddy was so used to filming people without their consent that he recorded his lawyers too. When this footage came out, it ruined Diddy's relationship, especially with Mark Agnifilo.
Boy, Diddy really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy. And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege, the lawyer doesn't, but Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly. And Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial.
This is where Diddy's story takes an even darker turn. 50 Cent's documentary also focused on Diddy's connection to the murder of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Interviews and testimonies from everyone close to the situation were included. Some of these people had refused to talk to the police about what they saw for more than 27 years, but they talked to 50 Cent. These testimonies renewed interest in the case, and now Tupac's family is investigating Diddy's involvement in the crimes.
Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac murder trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information to come on that one.
Detectives connected to the case confirmed this too. If a criminal investigation is launched, Diddy's sentence could go up from 50 months to life. This is what scares Diddy the most. He thought he would take this secret with him to the grave. But as it turns out, he might just have to pay for his crimes.
Let me ask you this. I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, no matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a murder trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick, because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
As we peel back the layers, we see that the people who are targeting Diddy and the people who used to work with him are the same. They're using Diddy as a scapegoat now. They're going to pin everything on one person and get rid of him so no one else can be prosecuted for the same thing, even though dozens of other people were involved. It wasn't just Diddy.
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs with Diddy.
Jaguar Wright actually went as far as saying that the people trying to blame Diddy released this documentary. That's why she refused to be part of it. She says that she knew industry executives would never put out anything that could hurt them. Once Jaguar actually saw the documentary, all of her fears were confirmed. Diddy's criminal friends weren't mentioned once. Clive Davis, Jay-Z, Oprah, none of these names was mentioned.
The story isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming. Filming the feds. Watch.
Filming.
And directing.
In fact, Jaguar believes that if the complete list of everyone involved with Diddy ever came out, it would destroy the entertainment industry. How is it possible that Diddy abused hundreds of victims throughout his career, but no one around him knew? Like, do you really expect us to believe that Diddy was doing all of this alone?
If the complete and utter truth comes out, 3 things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they can hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people, because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money. See?
Diddy wants to get out before any additional charges are filed. His lawyers have already filed an appeal. Diddy's lawyers announced that they were trying to get Diddy's 50-month sentence either reduced or taken down completely. They said that since the jury had found Diddy innocent on some of the more serious charges, his sentence was too long and he deserved to be let go.
Well, there's a new appeal from hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team is seeking his immediate release from federal prison, calling his 50-month sentence on charges of transportation for prostitution excessive. CB Cotton has the details live from our New York newsroom. Good to see you, CB.
Hey, Lydia. Well, once one of the most powerful names in hip-hop, Sean Diddy Combs is now behind bars at that federal facility in Fort Dix, New Jersey, but his legal team says he should have never been sent there for this long. So on Tuesday, in an 84-page filing, Combs' attorneys asked a New York federal appeals court to immediately release Combs and send the case back for a new sentencing or grant him an acquittal. In July, a jury found Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and scheme. In the fall, the judge then sentenced Combs to a little more than 4 years behind bars.
If this appeal fails, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen to Diddy. More than 100 civil lawsuits have been filed against him. Even if just one of those lawsuits includes criminal offenses, Diddy could see years being added to his current sentence. Diddy isn't the kind of person who can last that long behind bars. And according to Gene Deal, if a longer sentence happens, Diddy might just take the easy way out.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a certain individual to prepare himself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he'd be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He'd do an Epstein.
If new charges emerge, if more witnesses come forward, or if that appeal is denied, this story could escalate fast. And if what insiders are saying is even partially true, the biggest developments may still be ahead. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think Diddy's appeal has any real chance? Or is this the beginning of a much longer sentence? If you want updates as this unfolds, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in. This story is far from over.